Hello. In a recent talk, I spoke about the environmental problem of deforestation and the associated problem of food waste. As you may remember, I said that it was strange that so much food is grown when so much food is wasted by the people who sell it, as well as those who consume it. I'm sure you've all looked in the fridge at one time or another and wondered how long something has been sitting there before you threw it away. At the end of the previous talk, I said I didn't really have any solutions to the two problems. So I did a little research of my own and have a few reasons and possible solutions to share with you today. Let's begin by looking at food waste on the part of the consumer before finally looking at how the deforestation issue can be solved. So, wasted food. In the EU, with a population of over 500 million people, a staggering 89 million tonnes of food is wasted every year. This is mostly fruit and vegetables and bakery products. You may remember that I said the average family in the UK wastes £700 worth of food per year, or about £13 per week. That's not on food they throw away. I think there's one very clear reason for this. That is the way we do our food shopping nowadays. For many families and people with busy lifestyles, the idea of a weekly or even a once every 2 week massive food shopping spree at the local supermarket is very tempting. It saves time. You can spend an hour at your nearest huge supermarket and you don't need to go back there again for another week or two. But that once a week or once a fortnight time-saving trip creates a problem. Obviously, some of the food you buy has a limited shelf life, meaning it is only good to eat for a few days. An obvious example is fruit, or perhaps bread. The typical family seems to go to do their big shop and buys a lot of fresh produce, fruit, bakery items and such like, as well as the stuff that is either frozen in the supermarket or can be frozen at home. The family can't eat all of the fresh produce in the first few days after the big shopping trip. They may eat half of the fruit or a few of the croissants. The rest of these perishable goods get thrown away, and the family moves on to the frozen and tinned food for the rest of the week. Now, I said that people seem to do this one trip to the supermarket every week or even once every 2 weeks because they have such busy lifestyles and need to save time. There's no time in the day after work to go shopping, do the cooking, eat, and do whatever else needs doing at home in the evening, the cleaning, the ironing, etc. Perhaps this is true for some people, but I'm not sure it's true for the majority of people and families. Let me explain why I think this is the case. I own a dog, and the dog needs walking, so I take him for a walk in the evening. Pretty much every window I pass, I can see that the TV is on, usually soap operas, cooking programmes or football, or the X Factor maybe. Therefore, people are not too busy. All they are doing is watching TV. I think it's a myth that people are too busy to go to the shop more frequently to buy fresh produce. I think they're just too lazy. And perhaps they enjoy their frozen pizzas, takeaway Chinese or Indian food or whatever, and their microwave dinners too much. This might also explain why there are so many overweight people around nowadays. Laziness is making people waste food. A second reason. Most people finish work at 4:30 or 5 o'clock. What time does the local fruit and vegetable shop close? Ah yes, 5 p.m. Why on earth would you open your shop when the majority of people are at work and close it when that majority are not at work. Small business owners, like small food shops, often complain that the big supermarkets are taking away their business and that they struggle to stay in business. Well, that is not surprising when pretty much the only people who can visit those small food shops are pensioners, the unemployed, those on holiday and those on maternity leave. Perhaps if those workers who were on their way home after work could stop nearby a fruit and veg shop or a baker's, they would A, utilise the local shops more, the small shops I mean, and B, buy more fresh food more regularly. I think this is a problem specific to the UK. In any other country I have lived in or visited, the local shops are open in the evening, and that is when they get a lot of their business. Perhaps this 9 to 5 opening hours is a cultural thing for the UK. It certainly can't be the quality of the TV programmes in the evening means that everyone wants to get home to watch TV, because there isn't a lot of quality. That's my opinion anyway. To summarise, lazy people who do not want to visit the shop more regularly and buy fewer things each time, and secondly, shop owners who will not open at times that suit the majority of the people. These are the causes of the consumer's food waste problem. Second point is about deforestation. This is a very difficult problem to solve. I think it is unfair to ask people in developing countries to not chop down trees in order to make a better living for themselves. Industrialised countries like the US and UK, these were heavily forested areas many years ago. But industry and farming led to the removal of the majority of the trees. Hence, it is very hypocritical for us to say to the Brazilians or the Indonesians, please don't chop down all of these rainforests to make a better life for yourself. What is needed is to help these countries, which do have large areas of forests, to manage the land in a better way. We heard last time that when areas of forest are burnt down to create grasslands for cows or crops, the land doesn't last a very long time because it goes dry and like a desert after a few years. The people who are cashing in for short-term gain need to be educated in how to maintain their land for long-term gain for everyone. To conclude my talk then, the consumer food waste problem is caused by two things. Firstly, lazy consumers who do not want to visit the shop more regularly and buy a smaller amount of food each time they visit. This laziness is not helped by shop owners who do not want to open their shops at times when a large number of potential customers may want to buy products. Finally, deforestation needs to be tackled by educating those people who are clearing the forests to manage their land in a more sustainable manner so that they can use the land in the long term and not just the short term, thereby reducing the need to clear more areas of forest land. I'd like to know now if you have any opinions on what I said.